This is a quick video of the new NSa 3700, and just like most of my previous firewall overview videos, we'll first start by unboxing the firewall and look at this unit on every single angle, look at ports, SFPs, power supply, and so forth. Then I'll move on and talk about the specs, sizing, compare this firewall with its predecessor. We'll cover very briefly the new UI and also talk licensing. And make sure you stick around until the end because Sonicwall has a very unique and cost-efficient way of doing high availability, and I'll cover it and also show it in action. I'll have a VoIP call going through the firewall and I'll start pulling network cables and power cables and actually see what happened with my VoIP call. Hi, I'm Jean-Pierre Talbot, SE for Sonicwall in Canada, helping customer and reseller get the most out of their network security solutions. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. And all the link to the content I'll mention will be in the description box down below. So let's get going. Like we say here in province of Quebec, on veut pas le savoir, on veut le voir, which directly translates to we don't want to know, we want to see. Where the actual meaning is more like, how about you just shut up and show the damn thing? So let's open the box and see what we've got. So the classic work from home outfit here, no shoes, sweatpants, and I guess big firewall require big tools to open the box. Easy, easy, it's not an axe. Okay, good, you put the knife down. Ah, there's another box in there. Okay, I'll just fast forward this. I don't want to see him butcher the box again. Okay, so here in there we do have a small box handling cables. So of course we'll have our power cable. We do have a console cable as well. I highly recommend you save this cable because the pinout is not standard, so keep it. I love that network cable. It is flat, takes next to no room in your suitcase, so whenever you'll be able to travel again, that's a great cable to carry around. And we do have our firewall in here. And now let's look at this new firewall on every single angle. And we have on the left the management port, console port, and 2 USB ports. Moving on to the center, we do see 10 SFPs, where 6 of them can go up to 10 gig worth of throughput. And on the far right side, you see 24 1 gig RJ45 network cables. And on the back, we have 2 power supply. One is included and the second one can be purchased for an extra cost. So now that we've seen it, let's talk about it. And the thing everybody wants to talk about is numbers, throughput, datasheet. So let's look at the NSa 3650 and the new firewall replacing it, the NSa 3700. So as you can see in terms of throughput, you roughly get twice of everything. The first one, which I'm not a fan of that specific number, is the firewall throughput. The reason I'm not a fan of it, it's because this is the throughput the firewall can do without any security services at all. So to me, I want my firewall to inspect everything. So to me, that number is not very relevant. What I like is the threat prevention throughput. And as you can see, the new firewall offers exactly twice the performance of the previous one with 3.5 gig of throughput. That is traffic with every single services on all at the same time. So to me, that is a very important number. And the second one that is important is the one right underneath, TLS and SSL inspection throughput. That is inspection of encrypted traffic like HTTPS and all security services on at the same time. So inspect, for instance, inspect every single traffic that is HTTPS, encrypted web traffic, and run every single services through it. And as you can see, again, the 3700 roughly give you twice as what you got with the 3650. Moving on, next is the connection. As you can see, it's roughly the same, significant gain in the new connection per second. And also a very important one is the last one, DPI SSL connection. So that is the amount of encrypted connection like HTTPS that you can do. And as you can see, it is a very good 50% bump from 100,000 to 150,000 concurrent connection. Next topic is sizing. And the bigger the firewall, the more challenging it is for me to provide a one-size-fits-all guide of rule of thumb sizing, right? Because as you know, there's so many things that get involved into sizing. And the bigger the organization, the bigger the firewall, the more usage can be different from one customer to another. One can have a lot of network segregation, another one may not have. Some department might do some crazy stuff in terms of throughput through the firewall. So it's, again, very hard to do a rule of thumb sizing. So don't take me accountable for it if my general rule of thumb sizing does not fit you. But generally speaking, I would say 150 to 300 users would be a ballpark for this firewall. And of course, you may be able to push it further. Moving on to licensing. I'm sure you guys remember we used to have CGSS and AGSS into the Gen 6 firewall. So now SonicWall changed the name of the bundle, changed their content, and also added an extra bundle. So I've put a table here to make it easier for you to understand. So first we do have threat protection, which is very close to what we had for CGSS. Personally, I never recommend it simply because it lacked the security features to block ransomware. So it does not have capture ATP and does not have RTDMI, which are really your ultimate weapon against ransomware. So I always personally recommend going with the essential at least, which give you again the protection you need to block ransomware, which is capture ATP and RTDMI. And we also have the advanced now, which include everything the essential has, but also add cloud management and some basic reporting so you can see what consume your bandwidth and other things of that nature. So if you do have multiple firewall to manage, like if you're into retail business or things like this, the advanced package could be really nice because it will give you the ability to manage your firewall in bulk, where you can actually push changes to a lot of firewalls. It also has zero touch, where you can just send someone to plug cables and the firewall will call out SonicWall and appear magically into your management interface. And I've put a link in the description box down below on a video I've done on NSM, which is your cloud management. And as you may have guessed, the NSA 3700 is part of the new Gen 7 family from SonicWall. And it's new hardware, new firmware, new Linux kernel, new UI, new everything. So when they announced to us internally, hey, it's going to be a new firewall coming out, crazy throughput, I was over the moon. When they said new UI, I hated it from the get-go, even before seeing it, because I'm an old grungy person. Why creating a new UI? The old one was perfectly fine. So I had to admit to myself that for a couple days, I just loved it. Things just fall under my eye. It's a really weird feeling to explain, but when I'm looking for something, for instance, I'm like, okay, I want to see my licenses. I'm like, okay, device menu, you assume? Oh, licenses right there, easy. So it kept happening over and over again. Every time I was looking for something, it was right exactly where I expected it. So it took me a couple of days, but just maybe 2 days to be honest, and I just fall in love with that new UI. It's way more easier, a lot more beautiful, communicates a lot more with you, and I can actually find what I need right away. So I'm just loving that new UI. Last topic for this video is to talk about high availability, or HA for short. And pretty much every sales I see or sales I get involved in that are for 3700 and up, people always go in HA. The reason is pretty simple. Company look at how much it cost me per hour to be down versus how much it costs to go HA with SonicWall. So I cannot tell you how much it costs to be for your company to be down, but just picture a company of 200 users, people making $20 per hour. That's $4,000 per hour to be down, paying salaries to people not doing anything. And I'm not a CFO, but I do believe that a company must bring in more money than they spend in salary to be profitable. So just assume $6,000 an hour worth of sales that are not coming in because you're down. So right there, we're at 10K per hour lost, 4K in salaries for 6K in lost revenue. So if we compare this to the price to go HA, I'm not going to throw numbers here because of course it depends on which country you are and what promo you use, and plenty of stuff. But the idea I want to explain is if you go with one 3700, it will cost you a certain price. I usually recommend people to go with the 3 years. So you get, it's less expensive. So you buy the unit with 3 years at a certain price, and then after that every year you renew. So that's the price, that's how it works for 1 unit. If you want to go HA, you still need to pay your main unit the same price as if you were not doing HA. The cool thing with SonicWall is the HA is where you have a initial cost. You buy the unit at a certain price. It's roughly often like 1/3 of the price of the firewall with all licenses. But the very neat and key differentiator stuff is there is no renewal. You don't need to buy the security services for that unit. You don't need to pay support. There is nothing to pay. So the renewal cost you will have every year, HA or not, will be the exact same cost. So that's why we do see a fair amount, if not all customers, when we go into bigger unit, go HA, because they're like, okay, it's going to cost me, I don't know, 3-4 grand to get the HA box, again, depending on which model. And after that's it, like, yeah, you just buy the second unit, a kind of empty box, and there is no support, no licenses, no nothing for that second unit, which make it extremely appealing. And that's why we do have a lot of people using it. And next, I want to join our SE, JP, who said he would set up a HA in firewall and have a VoIP phone with a PBX, a VoIP server on the internet, and run a call through the firewall and get HA to do some failover and see how that phone call behave while we do have failovers. So JP said it would be about 2 hours to set it up. It's only been 20 minutes. We'll see where he's at. JP. JP.
Yes.
JP, didn't you say 2 hours? It's only been 20 minutes.
Wait a second.
Got a phone call. Yep. Hey, I'll call you back, okay? Bye. So, what I was saying is, yes, here, we do have a VoIP phone, and it's connected through the firewall here, the pair of firewall actually, and the VoIP server is on the internet, so I'll place a phone call, put myself on hold, so I do get a on hold music and a constant audio stream. Then I'll simulate 2 HA failover. The first one is one port being cut. I've seen this in a few occasions where the 2 firewall are in different side of the building and there is some construction and one cable get cut. So that will generate a HA failover. And the second one is simply pull the power on one, and in both cases, we'll see what happened to my phone call, which has, again, constant audio stream due to the on hold music. So, its first thing is set the call. I'll go pick it up. And we have music. So first thing is a cable being cut due to construction. So let's see this. Right, that doesn't work. You guys can't hear the music. What I'll do instead, I'll just pull a cable, okay? So the active firewall is the one right here, the one underneath. You don't see it, but the LEDs are blinking quite a lot. So I'll pull a cable, pay attention to the music. Nothing. It just kept going like if nothing happened. The failover went totally transparently from this one to this one, because it is a stateful active passive HA. So it's active passive, one passive, but it is stateful. The backup one knows everything about what's going on. So I'll pull the cable back in. Next, I will pull power on the main unit. I'll just wait for music to come back. New song. As you can see, I lost the music a bit. And music came back. So my call never dropped. The phone call kept going. But I lost audio for like 3-4 seconds maybe. But the phone call, the key point is everything kept going like if nothing happened. I don't have to replace my call. The call didn't drop. It just kept going. The active connection remained. So that is a very key feature of a stateful active passive HA. Thanks, GP. Pretty impressive for an active passive setup where the phone call just didn't drop. It just kept going. So love it. Thanks for watching. If you do have any question, please feel free to reach out to your local SonicWall team. And if you don't know who they are, just shoot me a quick email. I'll be more than happy to introduce you to your local SonicWall team. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.